All right, friends, welcome. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to go ahead and get started. I know there's a heaviness in our Jewish world this week, and we'll acknowledge that and talk about it a little bit later. But I also want to acknowledge the joy in this room too, because it's very exciting as Allison Hines is becoming bat mitzvah this weekend, and she'll be leading a few things tonight, a whole lot more tomorrow, and it's great to have you and your extended family here. We're going to begin on page 1. We need that additional soul for Shabbat, we really do. So, Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh Avraham, Yedid Nefesh Avraham, Mishur Avdecha, Eretz Odecha, Mishur Avdecha, la 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 la, Eretz Odecha. Let's go to page 5. Shiru Adonai, Shir Hanan, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Miyom Liyom Yeshuato, Samru Lagoyim, Ketevodo, Kevoadim Nivodav, King Adonai, Ulam Elohim. let's go to page 12. All right, to page 13. Got some yummy babies here today. Well, we're really almost one, or maybe are one. Wow. Yeah, believe it or not. Chadodi, page 15. Face the entrance, welcoming the Shabbat bride. But we say to any mourners in our midst, may God comfort you with all the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We're on page 19 and 20. Sadika Tamar Yidra Kaeres Balanon Yiskesh Chetu Libeneta Lebekadona Eloheinu Yafrihu Lavesh Itazar, Aftikon Tevel Baltimo, Nahon Kifosahaz Be'alam, Be'az Be'amata, Nasunerot Adonai, Nasunerot Kolam, Nisunerot Okyam. Nikol Mayim, Mayim Rabim Adirim, Mishmereh,
Amen.
rise briefly for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Leolam Vaed. May be seated. Baruch Adonai L'Olam. Asher B'Faro Marivavi. Yom v'layla, g'loi mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Shabir m'mivei layla, navdi ben yom m'vei layla. Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, amari baruch. Page 24. On page 25 of the Shema, and we're actually going to invite our Bat Mitzvah Allison and her sister Rachel and her cousin Maya to come and lead us in the Shema. I don't know if someone close could grab a kippah for Maya. I don't think I have one here. I should. Come on up. There we go. All right, Maya, you're going to get to stand on this chair.
How fun! Tiskaru
Yasitem and Komisotai, Etem Kiroshim Elechem, Ani Adonai Olechem, Asher Otziti Etem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Yom Lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Olechem, Melech. Yasher Koach. On page 32, Moshe ben Israel, Chanor Shira B'Samcha Rabba V'Amru Kulam. Sukkot Shlomecha, Baruch Atah Adonai, Amarei Sukkot Shlomecha, V'Kol Mo Yisrael, V'Yal Yerushalayim. Please rise for the Shamru, page 32. remain standing for Chatzikash, and we invite Allison to come up and lead us in the Chatzikash.
Yikada Shemay Rabba.
Amen.
Namadivra Yurte Bamlik Mahnute.
Amen. Yehesh Me'Ravam Mevorach.
Yipara Yishtaba. Yipar Yipamam Yitnase. Yitadar Yithale Yithalal Shmei Kudisha. Le'elam Min Kol Birhata V'Shirata.
Amen. Koach, Private Amidah, pages 37 to 48. Ose Shalom V'Roma. Ose Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Yimru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. right to Kaddish Shalem today on page 53. Allison, come on back up.
Vikadal Shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
Magi Vrak Yurte Bam Lech Mahute. Bahai Honu Yomahonu Kayed Kobe Israel. Galus Mohi Imaru.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorah. Ve'olam Me'omaya Yibarach.
Barak Yishtabah. Har V'Roman B'Naseh. Hadar V'Halai V'Ahal Shmei Kudusha. Ve'elamin Kobi Hata V'Shirata. Tushbahata V'Nehemata Damilam Ve'oman V'imaru.
Amen.
Kabakso Tahonu Ve'utahonu Kuhu Israel. Kadam Urakon Divishmaya V'imaru.
Amen.
Yehi Shlam Ragamin Shemaya. Ve'chaim Aleinu Ve'akol Israel V'imaru.
Amen.
Yosei Shalom B'Mamav. V'yasei Shalom. Aleinu Ve'akol Israel V'imaru.
Thank you, Allison. We're looking forward to much more tomorrow. Beautifully done. Although you'll be coming up for the Kiddush and maybe with Naomi for Aleinu too. So, that's the plan in my head anyway. All right, so I will be talking about the Bibas family as well as Oded Lifshitz in a few moments, but right now I'm going to do what I would normally do during this time, which is continue the history of Temple Beth Abraham. We're on the rabbis now. We're up to Rabbi Joe Schoenwald. But his story begins when, in 1947, when a British patrol turned back a ship of European refugees at the port of Haifa, and one pregnant 18-year-old Auschwitz survivor faked smallpox and was allowed to deport, the only person let off that ship. And baby Joe was born a few months after that. So, very interesting beginnings. He grew up in Israel. He was ordained as a rabbi from something called the Diaspora Yeshiva of Torah Studies in Jerusalem. He served as a congregational rabbi in Mesa, Arizona, before coming to Temple Beth Abraham when he was hired in 1984, and he served here from 1984 to 1981. 1984 to 1991, at which point he left and returned to Israel. He, some of the things I can tell from the minutes or from Google, that services were at 8 p.m. on Friday nights in those days.
Wow.
So yeah, they were the late service. He was very much a leader in Soviet Jewry and in welcoming former Soviet Union Jews to back here. So much so that it even got him into trouble because he would not make them pay anything to be members, and there was some conflict with the board over that. But he was about serving these folks who needed it, and he had a lot of integrity about that. He was also part of a German-Jewish dialogue, and which was new back then. It wasn't so easy. Back then, we were not buying Mercedes instead of not buying Teslas. But but in relations with Germany, he was a big part of that. He was very traditional because he had a yeshiva education, but he was also very innovative. He was also a very warm human being, but he was also tactless at times, which got him into trouble. He very much spoke his mind. Now, according to an article in the Jewish Bulletin upon his leaving, we had finally begun to grow again as a congregation. We shrank throughout the 70s, and in the late 80s, Oakland became a little less scary. I mean, everyone had fled. The Jewish community fled Oakland during the 70s and early 80s through the tunnel, and it was really hard to maintain congregational life here. It started to go back on the upswing during his time here. I never visited here, but I was working as a assistant brand manager on Formula 409 and Tilex in Oakland at that time, and So there were yuppies and things in Oakland, and it was starting to rejuvenate. He was a part of that. According to that article, the average age in the congregation when he arrived was between 55 and 60. I don't think they really got this right, and then when he left, it was somewhere in the mid-30s. Like, I mean, that's hard for me to believe. I think they probably are 10 years off in each direction, but either way, pretty good. Religious school enrollment tripled, and preschool enrollment grew from 35 to 50. By tripled, my guess is it went from like 15 to 45, in all honesty, but which is still great because it made it viable. Unfortunately, the ending here was very, very difficult. The executive board did not get along with him or did not like his performance or all of the above, and they decided not to renew his contract. And the executive committee sprung this on the full board without telling them, and there was a thin majority, by a thin majority, a very contentious board meeting, they voted not to renew his contract. But the bylaws had been changed. You probably don't remember this, but from a few weeks ago during Leonard Cahan's time, the bylaws had changed where the congregation had to actually approve the contract, new contracts anyway. There's still some gray area. So there was a big congregational meeting, and it was like Yom Kippur here, and there were people lining, the blocks and nowhere to park. I've been at one of those as well, not here, but at my first congregation in New York. I knew that very well, but it was very split, but hundreds of people came out. They voted to elect him and renew his contract, but it was a slim majority. The executive board resigned. There was no board. A new group did come and step up, but some of his closest confidants said, "We've been through too much. You did win this battle, but we probably lost the war, and it's probably time for you to leave." And he accepted that and left, sadly. He was also a big expert on Shlomo Carlebach. He knew Shlomo Carlebach, and he brought him here. It was actually sponsored by the Men's Club. It was a big, successful event, as described in the minutes. And according to a biography, later he went to work in Israel for something called the Abraham and Sonia Rockland Family Foundation as an analyst. He was assigned to assess the private funding for Operation Exodus, the program that brought thousands of Soviet Jews to Israel. He also observed Operation Solomon, which brought over 14,000 Ethiopian Jews to Israel in a week. And he was also part of a feasibility study on creating a kibbutz for that group for Israel's newest citizens. So that's some of what he did while he was in Israel. I've met him several times. He did visit here during my first year. I see him at every so often at Congregation Shirah Chadashah in Jerusalem, where he attends, and he's always friendly, and it's enjoyable to see him. So that's a little bit about Rabbi Schoenwald's time here at Temple Beth Abraham, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Did you get to talk to him?
I did not get to talk to him this week, unfortunately. But I did talk to some members who remember the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I mean, really a very warm human being and a combination of traditional yet innovative, which is really appreciated. So that's a little bit about Rabbi Schoenwald. All right, we're going to continue now with the full Kiddush on page 55. We invite Allison, but also Rachel and Suzanne and Doug to come on up at this time too. And we rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hakafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'yahal ratzon impilanu, zikaron l'maaseh Bereshit. Kiru Yom Tehillah L'Mikrayei Kodesh Zecher Tziyah Mitzrayim Imanu B'charta V'yotanu Kidashta Mikol Ha'amim V'Shabbat If you are near children or holding children or comfortable with someone else, to bless them, it's on page 56. Yisimech Elohim, Sar Rivka Rachel Leah, Yisimcha Elohim, Kefraim V'Kimanasha, Yivarecha Adonai V'Yishmerecha, Aaron Adonai V'Elecha V'Yifnecha, Yisrael Adonai V'Necha Shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God lift the divine face toward you and grant you peace. Amen. We remain standing for the Alini. We're going to invite Naomi. So Naomi and Allison are going to lead us in Alini. Alleluia, Shabeach, V'Adonam Kol, V'Teinu Al Yotzer Reshit, Shalom Asanu B'Yei Arasot, V'Lo Samanu K'Mishpachot Ha'adama, Shalom Sam Tavkeinu Kadem, V'Kol Aleinu V'Kol Hamonam, V'Anachnu Gorim, U'Mishpachami U'Modim, Lifnei Melech, Malkei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, She'u Shamayim Me'yosef Haaretz, U'Moshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Nima'am, U'Shvi Na'tuzo, E'Gavei Meroni, Hu Eloheinu Eino, Eloheinu Malkeinu Efesulato, Kakatu B'Torato, V'Yadat Hayom V'Hashemota, Elevalecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, V'Shamayim Mima'am, Ve'al Haaretz Torah Tech Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed.
V'Me'em Ha'Adonai Adonai, V'Melech Al Kol Haaretz, V'Yom Ha'hu, Yireh Adonai Echad, U'Shemo
Seated as we lovingly call, remember our departed relatives and friends as your site to be observed during the coming week. Very long list tonight: Lillian Adler, Helen Aldeth, Sidney Backer, Samuel Vandell, Eric Baum, Elizabeth Bernstein, Frida Blatter, Elise Bleeman, Hyman Brodke, Robert Brunner, Jean Charlesworth, Mark Evan Cyprus, David Disco, John Eberhardt, Avraham Helbert, Alexis Falkier, Harold Tott Frankel, Fernando Garcia, Paul Gilday, Arlene Gillette, Dorothy Glasser, Kalman Gluck, Shirley Goldberg, Helen Golden, Pearl Goodman, Irving Garankin, Joseph Gould, Shirley Gould, Samuel Aaron Grinberg, Bernice Gertoff, Rose Hillman, Samuel Jackson, Harvey Jacobs, Joseph Kay, Gertrude Kingston, Rose Kotz, Joseph Vint, Betty Moscow, Bernard Pollitt, Melissa Ann Powers, Irma Robinson, Al Rothman, Charles Somers, Alan Stone, Milton Weiner, Erwin Weintraub, Julian Wolfe, Leonard Wolfe, Sam Wolfe, Joseph Zuckerberg. We're in the Shloshim for Mark Brasham and Judy Levy. And we are in the Shiva for Alan Rosenfeld, the father of Lynn Langfeld. Our thoughts are most definitely with you, Lynn. Bernice Bunny Jaffe, father of Bob Jaffe, and Bob, our thoughts are indeed with you. And Hannah Pomerantz, the mother of Donna Pomerantz, and they are in Israel for the Shiva. We also, of course, want to remember the Bibas family, Shira, Kfir, and Ariel, and then also had his name, Oded Lifshitz. And I mean, we're going to continue to see bodies brought back, and every day it's sad, but I know these hit us harder, and I'll talk about that after the Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. V'almad yivrach Yerutei v'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kariv v'yimaru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach ve'elam l'amei almaya v'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shnei Dekudashah B'ruchu Le'elam in kolver kata v'shirata tushbekata v'nechemata damiran v'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al Israel v'imru. Amen. Hosei shalom v'imramav huyasei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha. May the memory of the people you come to say Kaddish be blessed with you always. Say.
Amen.
All right, some announcements. Tomorrow, Allison Hung becomes bat mitzvah, and she'll be leading she'll be leading Torah service, Musaf service, chanting Haftorah, chanting Torah, and giving the drash. So, lots of stuff for Allie, and we're very excited about it. Very excited. And let's see. Also, tonight there's challah. Tomorrow there'll be a great Kiddush lunch in her honor put on by grandparents Joe and Sheila Millman. Now, I want to thank our breeder Etta Heber and Yitz Heber for doing security. I want to thank Josh Millman for setting up the stream and wish him refuah shlema. He had pretty significant surgery this week, and he is recovering. And Josh, if you're watching, we're very much thinking of you. This week, we have Rosh Chodesh Women's Study Group at 7:30 on Monday. Contact Lynn, who's there, if you have questions about that. Next Shabbat, we have Naomi Widow becoming Bat Mitzvah, as well as Tfilat Yeladim and Shabbat Mishpacha and Mahjong. The beginning Aleph Bet class will start this Sunday or next Sunday?
This Sunday, the old Aleph Bet class is still continuing at 10. The new class starts at 11.
New class start. Okay, that's this coming Sunday. And let's see. My confirmation class continues this week. Intro to Judaism continues this week, all starting on Sunday. And I think we'll be in the sanctuary next week. I'll explain later, but yeah, I think we're gonna have a bigger crowd next week. We'll most likely meet in the sanctuary. Okay. All right. I don't have many words, or many more words than I expressed in an email that most of you got, or if any of you saw on my Facebook. There's just a certain sadness that seems different this time. It's because they're babies. It's because we held out hope. Probably shouldn't have. I mean, I think most of us knew deep down they had probably died a long time ago. We didn't imagine the barbarity of it and how horrific it was, although maybe we did. So there's a certain heaviness and a sadness. So we're gonna pass out the words to a song as well as a poem, which the poem we're all gonna read together, which I think really does a good job of expressing how we feel, what we can and cannot do about it. Most importantly, I'm just glad that we're here together, that we have this community to be together in sadness as well as good times. We can mourn together. We can just understand. There's a certain base level of understanding that we have. I only printed 36 of them, but so a few of you should share.
Thank you.
Oh, I knew there was one more announcement I was trying to think of though. Mishloach Manot. If you have not signed up to help us with our fundraiser to send baskets to everybody, everyone in the congregation delivers. I'm hoping everyone in the congregation contributes as well. So please do so. It's coming out. Anyway, this poem at the bottom by Rabbi Oded Mazor Rabbi Oded Mazur, he's the rabbi of Kehilat Kol HaNishama, which is a Reformed synagogue in Jerusalem. A lot of us have been there. They have very good music there. Great Levi Kelman was the rabbi for many, many years there. He wrote this poem and it really moved me. We're going to read it together, the one on the bottom. In the days when each hour collides with the next, we have no choice but to cry and to laugh with the same eyes, to mourn and to dance at the same time. And the long arc of history is compressed into one day and 1 hour. We ask for the strength to contain the intensity of our bursting hearts, to rejoice with those who will be able to embrace today, to enfold all of those leaning into their longings, souls trembling, to hold on to hope without letting go, and to leave some quiet space for a silent scream. Please grant us the room to shatter into pieces and the spirit to reveal them. Wow. So I thought it was really, really moving and expressed, just the difficulty, the many things we're feeling at once. And we're going to conclude tonight with this song that actually was written by somebody named Moti Hamer, who I don't know, originally recorded by the great Chava Albertstein, but it became more famous during this past year when an artist named Omer Adom started singing it everywhere. And I only discovered it, really learned it yesterday when I was watching some of what was happening in Hostage Square as they were mourning and just being together. And you see the words, the general translation, when I shall die, something of mine, something of mine will die in you. When you'll die, something of yours in me will die with you. Because all of us, yes, all of us are all one living human tissue, or could also be translated as fabric or embroidery. And if one of us goes from us, something dies in us, and something stays with him. If only we could know how to comfort the anger. If only we could know. And you may get the hang of some of this song. I've added an English verse, or it's actually a chorus, to try to capture the spirit. It's not an exact translation at all, but it's the same idea. And if you didn't catch the email and listen to it, the version that he does, which at the site of the Nova Festival, I really recommend it. But bring a tissue box. שאמות משהו ממני ימות בך שתמות משהו ממך בי ימות איתך כי כולנו רקמה אנושית אחת חיה אם אחד מאיתנו הולך ועימנו משהו מבנו משהו נשאר איתו אם נדע איך להרגיע את האהבה אם רעננה כי כולנו רקמה אנושית אחת חיה אם אחד מאיתנו הולך מעימנו משהו בנו מה שהוא נשאר איתו. We are together, one flesh and one fabric, together in body and spirit we are one. We are a family, all under the same sun. When one of us leaves here far too early, there is still love when all's said and done. Ki kulanu, ken kulanu, kulanu rikma enoshit echad chaya, ve'em echad me'itanu, הולך מעימנו, מה שהוא מת בנו, מה שהוא נשאר איתו. שימות מה שהוא ממני, מה שהוא ממני ימות בך, ימות בך. שבת שלום.
שבת שלום.